So now, even before jumping into to solve the complicated problems of compound interest, which will involve complicated values as well as the condition where we put in the compound interest problem too, let us first understand what are the methods by which we can find out compound interest. Okay, so ideally percentage method, which I told you at the start as to how do you find out compound interest, right? So till now you know what is compound interest. Okay, you don't know how to find out compound interest. Ideally you know a method which was percentage method, which I taught you earlier, and you also know a little bit about the formula methods which we have studied in the school, and I told you earlier as well, because the compound interest formula gives you the both, right? Remember that, the principal as well as the interest. So these are the two methods that ideally student knows, but we'll study here one more method which is called as a magical number line method. Okay, this is where it will be easier for you to find out the problems of compound interest. So the magical number line is quite simpler, and it's a great shortcut when it comes to solving compound interest problems. So, and if you are a student who has seen the earlier videos of storyboard, you must have been through magical number line in percentage as well as the profit and loss videos. Okay, so that is the same magical number line that we'll apply it in the compound interest as well. And if you are someone who is directly looking at the SICI videos and you have not seen the earlier percentage and profit and loss videos, it is advisable to watch those videos and then come on to this. Okay, because it's a sequence that needs to be followed. If you know percentage and profit and loss, it is easier to study simple interest and compound interest. Okay, having said all this, let us start first with what is a percentage method of compound interest. Okay, so let's start with this. So if I tell you I invest 1 lakh rupees in a bank, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, and I invested at 10% compound interest. Okay, 10% compound interest. So how will I solve it? Plainly by percentage method. I don't know anything else in my life. I know only percentage method. Okay, so if I have to solve it by that, how will I solve it? So you will say 100%. What is 100%? Initially what was there was 1 lakh, and 1 lakh is 100%. There is no increase or decrease over that. Then it increased by what? Then it increased by 10%. So what is 10% of 100? Which is nothing but 10. So this is what now? 100 plus 10, this becomes 110%. Okay, see, mark my words, I am telling it again and again. It's a percent, which means whatever is the value, it increased by 10%. That's what I am trying to say here. Next, what will happen? Whatever is this 10% of the previous year, that's why it's a compound interest, right? And that's why it becomes complicated, or else you would have just added 10 to everything. But 10% of the previous year, what is 10% of this? 11. So add 11 to this. If you add 11 to this, this becomes what? This becomes 121. Correct. So whatever is a value in the second year, it will increase by what? 21%. That's what you understand. Next, if I just keep on going like this, so you will say again it will increase by 10% of this in the next value, and the 10% of 121 is nothing but 12.1. So if it increases by 12.1, this becomes what? 133.1, which means what? Whatever was the value, I don't know what is the value, but it increased by 33.1%. Okay, in case they ask you what is the percentage increase, then this is the best method to solve. Okay, percentage method, because they are not asking you the value, they are just asking you in terms of percentage. So solve it just by percentage and reach to your answer, in case they ask you like that. But now if they ask you the value and you want to solve it by percentage method, what will you say? Whatever was the value, it was 1 lakh, that is 100%, that has increased by 33.1%. So what is 33.1% of 1 lakh? So I put here 1 lakh, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh. Okay, what is 33.1% of 1 lakh? You can say 10% is what? 10,000. 30% will be what? 30,000. So let's just put it here, 30,000. This is 30%. Then again, if you want 3%, that will be equal to 3,000. And if you want, this is 10%, 1%. This is what? 0.1%. Okay, this will be equal to 100. So if you add this 3% plus 1%, so this becomes what? 1 lakh 33,100. Okay, that is how the amount will become. So if you invest 1 lakh in a bank and it is increasing at 10% compound interest, what is the amount that you will get it after 3 years? That will be 1,33,100. What is the percentage increase? 33.1. And that's how you solve it in terms of percentage method. So ideally you just start from 100%, that is your principle, that will always be 100%, and you try and find out the eventual percentage increase, and then you compare it with the value. Now value could be anything. If in case of 1 lakh they would have given me 2 lakh, nothing would have changed. 2000, 20,000, 2 lakh, I would have kept here a 2 lakh now. Okay, this 2 lakh will be increased by what? 33.1%. Now I'll take 33.1% of this 2 lakh. So take now 30%, that will be 60,000. 3%, that will be 6,000. And 1%, that will be 10%. This is 1% will be 200, right? We'll put it in. So if you add all of this is 30%, 3%, and 0.1%. Okay, this was not 1, this was 0.1%. So 0.1%, because 1% is 1000 year and 2000 year. So if you add all of them, it will come out to be what? 2,66,200, and that's what the increase is. So what will I do here? I don't care actually what the principle is. Okay, the principle could be anything. I just care for what is the percentage increase. What is the percentage increase is the only thing that I worry about. Because in the end, I'll just compare it with the principle and I'll find the value. When is this method ideal? This method is ideal when you have simple values. The values is quite simple here, and it is easier for you to find this out. And secondly, when you want to just approximate by options and not get involved into calculation, because if you go by formula method, you will get the exact value for sure. Okay, you will cut everything, multiply and get the exact value. But then that will require time, and that will require a little bit of solving as well. Okay, percentage method, what is the advantage with the percentage method? You can approximate. Okay, you can say 30% increase हो रहा है तो 60,000 के ऊपर होगा, right? It will be more than 60,000. 66 is what it will be close to. So 2,66,000, yes, that is what is. Can I see an option which is of 2,66,000? So it can help you to approximate and reach to your answer. Okay, and then the principle doesn't matter to you. Principle could be anything. All that you see is a percentage increase. Okay, let's just apply this to one more so that we understand it better. Let's just apply it to, say, I'll say now, say 20% is what I'll apply this to. Okay, instead of 10%, I'll say at 20% now, and let's see how do I go ahead with this. So say 100% is here. If there is a 20% increase, it will increase to what now? 120. Now again a 20% increase over this. 20% of 120 is 24. If it increases by 24, this becomes what? 144. So now it becomes 144. So the total increase is what? 44%. Okay, then it will again increase by 20% of this. 20% of this is nothing but what? 28.8, and if you add, this becomes what? 172.8. So if you invest now, say 1 lakh, what will that become? Take 72.8%. 72.8% of 1 lakh is 72,800. So this is 1 lakh, which is the principal, plus 72,800, which you earn as a interest over this, which is 72.8% increase, as you have said this to be. So the amount there is 1,72,800 will be the amount in the bank after 3 years with 20% compound interest. Okay, so now irrespective of the value, even if you say 2 lakh, just put a 2 lakh here, 20,000, and then 2 lakh, take 72.8% of that. Okay, add to this, and that will be the final amount that will be there in the bank. So whatever is the principal, you just add it in the end. You will say it becomes easier when you are taking a value like 10%, 20%. Can you solve it for a 12%? Yes, we can. See, if this is 100, so it will become 112, right? Increased by 12. Then you can take a 12% of this. Okay, how can you take a 12% of this? One way is this. You can take 10% is 11.2. 1% is 1.12. So 2% is 2.24. Okay, add to this. This becomes 4. This becomes 224. This is what then? This is 111, right? This is what 10, correct? So this becomes 2245. This is 125.44. 125.44, right? So whatever is the value, you will increase that by 25.44. So if I tell you 1 lakh is invested, 1 lakh, 10,000, 20,000, it will become 1 lakh 25,440, which means increased by 25.44%, right? You will take 25.44% of 1 lakh, which is nothing but 25,440, add to this, and eventually you will get this amount. right? There is one more way to solve this as well. If you will say that this is very complicated, I don't want to do this, so the basic calculation class of storyboard, if you can remember, how do we solve this here? 112 into 112. So if you get an 112 here, just multiply 112 square. How do you solve this? You know the shortcut. We have seen it in the first class of quants at storyboard, which was with respect to doing it with speed calculation. So just do this, plus 12 plus 12. This is more 100 more than, this is 12 more than 100, right? Base method, if you can recall, 12 more than 100. Add 12 plus 12, 24. 12 into 12, 144. We need a 2-digit number here. I had told you in that class why. Now 124 plus 1, this becomes 12544, which is nothing but the same number. So if you are thinking this is very complicated, I don't want to go for this, just take a square. You can solve the square orally, and we had seen it in those classes, right? How do we solve orally? We had solved this 2019 square as well orally, 2019 2020. So what is this number? This is quite a small number with this. You can apply this to anything. If you say that 8% increase, what will I do? 100, first year it will be 108. Second year, take an 8% increase of this, or take 108 square. What is 108 square? This will be plus 8, plus 8, 8 plus 8, 16, 8 into 8, 64. So this becomes 116.64, which means what? 16.64% increase. And that's how easy it is to reach to the answer. So if I tell you 1 lakh, increase it by 16.64 and you will reach to your final answer. So no matter what percent increase they ask you, okay, it will be easier for you to go ahead with a percentage method. In case now they ask you for a third year, it will be slightly difficult, because you will be taking 1% of this, and then 1.16 will be 1%, multiplying that by 8, but still it's possible, right? Still it's possible if you want to solve it by this. So when is this very useful? When you want to approximate. Because you are writing an exam which will give you option, okay? No exam is asking you the exact answer, they will be giving you the options. And if you just want to approximate, don't want to do any calculations, solve it in a good 30 to 40 seconds just by visualizing the option, then this method becomes easier. For that, you'll just need a little bit of practice. After practice, your percentage method should be easier method for you to find out compound interest, okay? So that's how we understand the percentage method. After that, let us see formula method and the advantages of that method. Where should you use the formula method, okay? And then we'll go on to the magical number line, which is the father of both these methods. The easiest way to find out compound interest will be by magical number line, but make sure you know all the methods. So given the situation, you should be able to apply the required method. Now after the percentage method, let us understand the formula method for compound interest, okay? And what is that? You famously know the formula for compound interest. It is again divided into three parts, okay? The formula, you will see any of the sheets of compound interest to pick up as an annual formula, half yearly formula, and a quarterly formula, okay? So let's understand what is that. Annual formula says P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N, okay? Where P is what? The principal, the amount that you are invested. R is the rate of interest at which it is increasing annually, and N is the number of year for which you have invested. And this formula will give me what? Total, which means it will give me what? It will give me my sum as well as the interest that is being added to this. So sum plus interest, the total is given by this formula. After the annual, you will observe that if you take any of the sheets, it will have a formula which is called as half yearly. Now what is that, and how does the formula change here? So you will write it here as P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. This is for annually, right? So how will the formula change for half yearly? Half yearly means you divide the year into two parts, okay? So two parts, you will divide this. R becomes what? This R becomes R by 2, okay? R by 2, and this N becomes what? 2N. This N becomes 2N, and that's how your formula changes. Now what is the meaning of this? We'll understand it in the next part, but for the time being, just understand this is how the formula will change, okay? And for the quarterly, what do you do is, for the quarterly means dividing the year into 4 parts. So ideally write the formula. See, I'm giving you a trick how to remember this. First, just write the formula P into R 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. Since quarterly means dividing the year into 4 equal parts, so 4 into N, and this becomes R becomes what? R by 4, okay? Now let us understand why do we do this and what is actually the meaning of this. If I first just tell you that say the rate of interest is your say 20%. Okay, 20% is the rate of interest, and I'm asking you that 20% if it increases in 1 year, what will this be? So you will say, okay, if I put in 100 rupees in a bank, it increases by 20%, it will become 120, and that is what this formula will give it to me. I'll write it as 100 plus 1 plus 20 upon 100, right? Okay, so number of year is just 1 and it is increasing, so you will say 21s are 20, 5s are 5 plus 1, it will be 6 by 5. This will become 6 by 5, which is nothing but 20 into 6, which is nothing but 120. So we will reach to this answer, right? This is how you will use it. Now if I say 20% but compounded half yearly, so you will write this as 20, divide this by 2, so 20 by 2, this becomes 10% for 2 years, which means twice. See, what is it? 20% it increases annually. If it compounds half yearly, divide 20% into 2 parts. If I divide 20% into 2 parts, it will be 10% for 6 months and 10% for the next 6 months. Okay, and that's how the formula changes. So if I say right now again here, so you will say 20 divided by 2, this becomes P. I'm saying the principal year is 100, that is our example. So if I invest 100 rupees, it will become 1 plus 20 divided by 2, 10 upon 100, which is nothing but 1 by 10. 1 by 10 of what? Of 2 into 1 annually. I'm just talking about 1 year. So this will be what? 2. So this turns out to be what then? If I just multiply this will be 10 plus 1, 11 by 10 into 11 by 10. Okay, which is nothing but 100 gets cancelled. You will get here 121. And what is 121? If you can recall, 10% increase for 2 years with a compound interest, 10 becomes 110, and then it is again 10% of this. 10% of this is nothing but 11. Okay, 11 increase over this becomes 121. Correct, this becomes 121 then. Okay, so 20% increase annually, and compounded half yearly means split up 20 into 2 equal parts. Okay, and 2 equal parts, it means be 10. So 10% increase for 6 months and 10% increase for 6 months, which means 20 half yearly is 10% twice. Okay, that's the meaning of this. And let's now come out to quarterly. And what is the meaning of quarterly? I hope you can get it right now. What is quarterly? If you say 20 is the only thing, and you will write it here as 20 divided by 4, which means you divide 20 into 4 equal parts, which will be what? 4 ones are 4 5s are 5, which will be, right, 20 is divided into 4 equal parts, 5 5 5 5, right? That will be, so 5% increase in 3 months, then 5% increase in the next 3 months, then 5% increase in the next 3 months, so total 9 months till now, and then the 5% increase in the last 3 months, which means 20 divided quarterly is 5% increase 4 times. 20 divided half yearly, 10% increase twice. Okay, that's how you understand this. So it will be P. Let's write it here and visualize as to how will this happen. So if I just write it here, this will be P into 1 plus rate of interest is 20 divided by 4, this will be 5 divided by 100, 4 into 1. Okay, because number of year is 1, but again divided into 4 parts, so this becomes something like this. Now just solve this. This is 5 ones are 5, 20s are 20 plus 1 is, this is 21 upon 20 into 21 upon 20 into 21 upon 20 into 21 upon 20. If 5% increase 4 times into principal say 100, that is when it becomes a little complicated and tedious to solve, right? You will have to first find out what is 21 square, 441 into 441 divided by 400 into 400. Okay, and it looks very complicated now just to solve this thing. But if I ask you what is 5% increase for 4 years, you will say 100 becomes 105, then 105 square, which will be 110.25. Then again take 5% of this. What is 5% of this? Will be what? 5.5, you can say, right, approximately. So this will become what? This will become was 115.25. Okay, then again take 5% increase of that. So 1% is 1.15 into 5 will be 5 point what? 15 into 5 is 15 5 is 75. So this will be 5.75. So add this 5.75 to this. So approximately this comes out to be what? 120 point what? 75 plus this will be what, 121, and that's the increase, 21% increase that I observe it with respect to this. Okay, and that's how simple. So first year 5, second year 10, third year 15, and then 15 ideally it should be 20, but with a compounded increase it becomes your 120. It will be more than this because I had ignored a lot of values there. In case you just want the exact value, then just multiply it. So 21 into 21 will be what, 441 into 441. Okay, you will have to get this. So this comes out to be, if you just multiply 21 441 into 441 is 194481. Okay, now this will be what, 400 into 400, in case you just want to solve it by this, and my principal here is 100, so into what, into 100, so keep in 100 here. Now this and this 20 gets cancelled. What do I get is 400 into 4, which is what, 1600. So this entire thing divided by 1600, and the answer is 121.5. If you can solve it by calculator, you will get this 121.5, and approximately we got it 121, but as I told you, it will be more than this. Okay, because I approximated a lot of values here and then the values here, that's why I reached 121. But in case you want to approximate, then the percentage method will be better to this. But what I wanted to communicate here is a simple thing, is what is annually, what is half yearly, what is quarterly. Okay, annually means in 1 year, half yearly means divide the interest into 2 parts, so that one part will increase for 6 months and the another part will increase for 6 months. Then quarterly means divide whatever is the interest into 4 equal parts, and then 3 months increase, 3 months increase, 3 months increase, 3 months increase. Okay, that's how you will see it here as a pattern. Now in case they give you any of the value and they ask you to solve you by formula, then just put it here. Say in case of 100, I put the principal as 1 lakh, which we have taken in the previous case. So this is 10,000, 1 lakh, and the rate of interest I say is what 20%, and it is annually 20%. So I'll write it at 1 plus r. I'm just using the formula. Okay, 1 plus r, and it is annually and for 2 years. So 2 years. That's it. So what will be the total amount right now? So you can calculate it here. So keep it as 1 lakh, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh. This is 1 by 5 twice, 6 by 5 into 6 by 5. Okay, so this becomes what, 25 ones are 25, 4s are 100. Then what is remaining is 3 zeros. And this is 6 into 6 is nothing but 36. 36 into 4000. Okay, what is 36 into 4? 34s are 120 plus 24, this becomes 144. Right, so this becomes 144 and 144, then 3 zeros, 1 2 3 zeros. So this become what, 1,44,000. It will be the amount in the bank. After say 2 years, where 20% compound interest is increasing. If you want to compare this by percentage method, see, that's how you understand it better. Compare this. See, percentage method would have been much better here, because the amount is simple. You would have said 100, it would have become 120 would have become 144, 20% of that 24. So it will be increasing by 44%. Correct. What is 44% of 1 lakh? 44,000. So if you add 44,000 to 1 lakh, it will become automatically 1,44,000. So no need to go for such intense calculation here. You can just solve it simply by percentage method. But you have to see like which method is better where. If it is getting cancelled and multiplication looks easier and the option are close by, okay, and you need to multiply, then go by the formula method. But in case you just want to solve it by percentage, go by percentage. And can you solve quarterly problem by percentage? Yes, we just solved it here. Okay, 5% increasing 4 times. So the quarterly, let it be quarterly, let it be half yearly, you can go by percentage method. Yes, of course you can. See, we solve half yearly by percentage here, by formula here. Okay, by this is again by percentage here and by formula here. So any problem given, let it be half yearly, quarterly or annually, you understand the logic, you can solve it by percentage or you can solve it by a formula method. Okay, it's one and the same thing. Now let they give you any complicated percentage, the only thing that will change here is the formula. So if I say 15% increase on 2,50,000, 2,50,000 is the amount that is invested, and a 15% increase, 1 plus 15 upon 100. Okay, for 3 years, then what will they ask you? Just do this will be 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10, 0s are 0, and what are you left with then? 20 plus 1. So you are left with this now, 2,50,000, okay, into what, 20 plus 3, 23 upon 20 into 23 upon 20 into 23 upon 20. Okay, now you just have to multiply this and reach to the answer. So first find out 23 cube. This 3 zeros will get cancelled, 1 0 2 0 3 0. So this 3 will get cancelled with this 3. What are you left with in the end is 250 into 23 into 23 into 23. The whole thing is divided by 8. Now you may think that this looks like complicated. Yes, this is complicated and this will be time consuming. Okay, in case you just want the answer for this, just multiply this 23 cube. Do you know what is 23 cube? That is 12167. Okay, multiplied by 250 divided by 8. Now if I multiply this by 250, this will be a big number, which is 3041750, and dividing this by 8. So divide that by 8. So the answer will be this, which is 380,218.7. Okay, that will be the amount. So what is that now? 3,80,218 if it is increasing by this. Looks very complicated, right? Okay, what if I just solve it simply by percentage method? Can I solve it orally? Yes. Now that's where the percentage becomes simpler. So you will say 100% hai, increase by 15, it becomes 115. Then 115 square, as I told you, or you can say 15% increase over this. 115 square will be 15 plus 15, 132.25. Okay, if you feel this is complicated, watch the basics maths video and this will be easier to solve. Then again increase this by 15%. Now 10% of this is 13.2. So 5% will be what? Half of this, which will be 6.5. So add 6.5 to this. Now this becomes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's keep this as 0.95. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 3, 4, 5, 151.95. Now this is approximate, but this will actually give you the answer. Take 2,50,000, add 50% of that. What will be 50% of this? 50% of this will be 1,25,000, right? 1,25,000. Add 2 more percent to this, approximately 52, right? Add 2 more percent. So 1% is 2,500. So 2% will be what? 2% will be 2,500 into 2, which is 5,000. Add 5,000 to this. So this becomes what? 1,30,000. 1,30,000 added to this becomes what? 3,80,000. Correct. See, I got it. But I got it 3,80,000 in just minutes by using the percentage method. Okay, so given any complicated percentage, try percentage method. That will be easier because you can approximate the answer. Why to multiply and calculate? This calculation will be complicated, but then you have calculator in the exam. Yes, so this should be easy. This should not be a problem. So again, it's your call. What you get the method as best. I told you everything that you can be solved by percentage as well as the formula method. Use it depending upon the situation given in the exam. Now let's see last of the method by which we can find out the compound interest, which is a magical number line method. Now magical number line is nothing but an upgrade of your percentage method only. So you will get only the percentage increase like you get it in the percentage method. But why are we still using this? It will be quicker to find out the percentage increase. We will be just writing few of the numbers and you will be getting the answer to it. Okay, so let's start with this. If you have seen the earlier percentage video, this will be a repeat for you. Why this will be a repeat for you? Because this magical number line helps you to find out consecutive percentage increase, and compound interest is again nothing but consecutive percentage increase. Okay, so just let's go ahead and solve as to how do we put numbers on this. So always you start with a central number, which will be 10. The numbers on the right of it you will say will be increasing by 1. So 11, then this will be 12. Just keep on increasing them by 1. 13, then 14 and 15, 16, going like this up to whatever you want. 19, 20, we'll keep it till 20. Now if I say going on to the left part of it, you will go lesser than 10, which is say 9. You will be having 8, then 7, 6, till where you want to go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go till 1 and stop it here. Okay, now if I tell you that there is a 10% increase, so each of this number will be represented by certain percentage. So 10% increase, you will write it as 11. then 20% increase you will write it as 12, 30% increase you will write it as 13, 40% increase you will write it as 14, 50% increase you will write it as 15. Okay, if you ask me what if I give you some middle number, say 45% increase, what will you write that to be? 45% increase will be something that is in between 14 and 15, that is nothing but 14.5. so for 45% increase I'll write 14.5. You'll ask me what if I give you some random number like say 33% increase, what will you write for that? So come here, I hope you know this now. 13.1, 13.2, 13.3, 13.3 will be your 33% increase, and then so on. So each percentage increase could be written by some number that you can see it on a number line. Now let me start. How do you play with this? If I say 10% is the compound interest, that I am saying 10% compound interest per annum and increasing for 3 years. Okay, by percentage method you will write in 100, then you will say 110, then you will say 121, then you will say 133.1, right? You already know this, and you will say 33.1% increase. You know percentage increase. How do you find it out? By number line. That will be further a shortcut. See, 10% increase, what do you write here? 11. So write 11, since it's a one first year increase of 10%. Then one more year, since it is increasing for 3 years, so second year 10% increase, one more 11. Third year 10% increase, one more 11. 11 into 11 into 11 is nothing but 1331. And obviously you will be comparing this with 100, right? It will be an increase over 100. So ideally 10 10 10 should be 30, but it will be more than 30 since it's a compound thing. So it will become what? Put a decimal point here, 133.1. okay, in case you have a doubt, decimal point, why are we putting it? Because it will be an increase over 100. It cannot be 1331. How can 10 10 10 give you 1000% increase, right? So it will be only 33.1% increase, and that's how you solve it. If I ask you 20% increase, so you will say that 20% increase, how do you write it? As 100, then you write it as 120, then you write it as 144, then you write it as 172.8. Now if you have to solve it by number line, how will you do it? 20% increase, so you will write it as 12, one more 20%, so one more 12, 12 into 12, you got it for 2 years, which is 144. Here also you can check it, 11 into 11 is 121, you can get it for 2 years. But in case you are saying for third year as well, 12 into 12 into 12, which is nothing but 12 cube 1728. Okay, you are comparing this with 100. So 20 20 20, it should be ideally be 60, but it will be more than 60. So you will put a decimal point here. It will be 72.8% increase, and that's how you find it out by number line. In case they ask you 30% increase, so 13 into 13, which will be 169. So 69% increase. You can find it out orally here, the percentage increase, and you know what to do with the percentage increase, right? We have seen it in the earlier 2 videos. How do you get the values from the percentage increase? So I'm not taking the values here, I'm just explaining you how do you find out the percentage increase quite easily by the means of this magical number line. Now how is this useful? In case they ask you some random increase, like say first year the bank is giving you 10%, second year the bank is giving you 20%, and third year the bank is giving you 30% increase. Now you cannot use this in a formula, because formula says P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N, and R is a constant increase, which is say 10% for 3 years. So 10% will be increasing for 3 years, right? But I am saying no, it is increasing by 10% in the first year, 20% in the second year, and 30% in the third year. So you can solve this easily by number line. How will you say? 10% you will write 11, 20% you will write at 12, and 30% you will write the 13. 11 into 12 into 13, just multiply this. What does it comes out to be? So 11 into 12 into 13, and if you multiply, the answer is 1716. You always compare this with 100, increase of 100. So you will say 10 20 30. Ideally it should be what? 30 40 50 60, but it will be more than 60, so you will put a decimal point here. So the increase is what? 71.6%, and that's how simple it becomes. So whatever is the value that is given to you, increase it by 71.6%, and that's what will give you the overall interest that is being increasing over your value. And that's how simple your magical number line is, and that's why it's called as magical, because it will be simpler to do it in this way. Okay, now in case what you will now think that why did we take this LHS? In case there is a decrease, like obviously the bank won't decrease, but in case they ask you, that's why I said you use it in percentage often. If there is a 10% increase and a 10% decrease, so 10% increase you write it as 11, 10% decrease you write it as 9. 11 into 9 is 99. As I said, you always compare this with 100. 100 becomes 99, 1% decrease. Okay, but that is not how they will put it in a compound interest. This decrease, if you can recall, where do you use this? You use this in discount, and that's why I said profit and loss is where you will use this. Okay, decrease you use it always in the discount, and profit and loss where we use this, and this right part, this right part, we use it in compound interest. Okay, simple interest obviously will not use it because there is a constant increase over every years. So in case any of the percentage increase that is given to you, you can just put it the number line values and you can get it. Okay, let's just last put in complicated value here as well. 33% increase over 2 years. So you will write what? 33% means what? 13.3. So 13.3 into 13.3. Now just multiply what is 13.3 into 13.3 and you will get the answer 176.89. So this will be 176.89. So what is the increase? 76.8% increase. See, if you can just approximate, pick up any of the value and approximately see what is the 76% of it and add to it and check the option. You can solve it orally. Okay, where other students will be taking 2.5 to 3 minutes to reach to the exact value, you will get the answer in 30 seconds because you are just approximating, checking out. Now let's complicate value for compound interest. So we'll solve both the methods, our number line method as well as the percentage method will apply to it and the formula method. So we'll see the situation and we'll see which is the best method that we can apply for this. Okay, this should also give you a practice and a hint as to where you should apply what kind of method. How can you approximate, how can you get the exact value depending upon the question that is being asked and the option that have been given to you. Okay, so let's start with this. Complicating values with compound interest. One value is 2 lakh and one value is very complicated, which is 3,52,382. So how do I solve them? Which one should I solve by the formula and which one should I solve by a magical number line or by the percentage method? Okay, because both of them are same, both of them are giving you the percentage increase. So let's see that. Compound interest for 3 years at 10% per annum. How will I solve this by formula? P into 1 plus R. R is nothing but 10 upon 100 raised to 3, right? That's how I'll put it for formula. So if you just solve this, 10 ones are 10 tens are 10 plus 1, 11 by 10 into 11 by 10 into 11 by 10 into your what? Principal. And what is the principal here? If I take this, now if I take this here and I bring it there, principal as if I'm solving it for 2 lakh, so 2,000, 20,000, 2 lakh. Why am I using a formula method here? Because now it will be easier. I can just cut this 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0 gets cancelled. What is 11 cube? 11 cube is nothing but 1331. So 1331 into what? 200. Now 1331 into 2 will be what? 2662 and 2 zeros after that. 2 zeros after that. So what does it becomes? 2,66,200, and that will be the total value that is there after 3 years at 10% per annum. So if I ask you what is just the interest, just subtract 2 lakh minus 2,66,200. So this comes out to be 66,200. So that is the compound interest that is being earned for 3 years at 10% per annum. If I have to put it here, now if I just change this principal instead of this, if I write a principal as this, now check it out now. Okay, 3,52,382. Okay, instead of this I'm writing this and I'm just multiplying this by this. Then now it will be very complicated because you will have to do 1331, okay, into 352,382. Then you will have to take the 3 decimal points to the, or else you can just cut this by 2. Still you will have to multiply a lot, right? Even if you cut it by 2, then again if you cut it by 2, if you try to cut it by 8, then still the calculation will be very complicated. You will get the exact answer from this, no doubt about it. But what if the options are not close? What if the options are not close and you just need to get the answer in say good 30 to 40 seconds? So let's try it by a magical number line. So if I say magical number line, you will say 10% increase, so you will write 111. Again 10% increase, so 111. Again 10% increase, so 111, which is nothing but 1331. You will put a decimal point here, right? Which means what? 33.1% increase, right? As you must be knowing this, we had done this in the before video. We always compare this with 100, so the increase here is 33.1%. Okay, quite a simple thing that we understand, which means what? I'll just take this value now. What is the value? 3,52,382. Just increase this by 33.1%. Now what is the 10% of this? Check out what is the 10% of this. 35, then what? 238.2, right? 0.2. This is the 10%. So multiply this by 3, which means 35,000 multiplied by 3. 35 into 3 is what? 105. Okay, which means I'll add 105 to this. 105 714. If you want the exact, now you can ignore this 714 here. Just do 35, which means 3,50,000 into 3. 35 into 3 is 105. This is 33%. This is 30%. Okay, sorry, this is 30%. Now what more do you need? You need 3 more percent. Now what is 1%? Check it. What is 1%? 3, 5, 2, and then 3, right? Which is 3,500 into 3. Into 3 will be what? Again 10,000, right? Which will be 105 again, right? 35 into 3 will be 105, but it will be 10,000. So 105, 6, and then 9. Okay, this is 30%, this is 3%. Ignore that 0.1%. If you want to add that 0.1 as well, you want the exact answer. Now I'll approximate this in the exam, but in case you say that I want a 0.1, so 10% is this, 1% is this, 0.1% is 352. If you want to add this, okay, no need to go for this. Now you can add all the 3 and reach to the exact answer. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or else why do you want to do it in this way as well? 35, what will you say? 35, so 3, 5, this is 2, 3, 8, and then 2, right? Plus what? 105, 714. Okay, plus you have 10,569. Okay, plus you have 352. So if you add them, it comes out to be what? 4,69,017. Okay, this is as close as you can get through this. But in case you don't want to use anything, you want an answer in 30 seconds, so you will say, okay, 3,50,000, add 1,05,000 to this. So this becomes what? 4,57,000. 4,57,000 plus 10,000 will be 4,67,000. 4,67,000, which means I need an answer which is close to 4,67,000 or 68,000, which is nothing but 4,69,000. And that's how you can just approximate the answer in 15 to 20 seconds. All that you have to see is 10% kitna hai. So what will be the 30%? What will be 3%? Do it everything in the mind, and just get one answer which is close to your option, and eventually you reach to your answer. Now if you try and solve this by this, see, you will get an exact answer. But what if you don't need an exact answer? So you don't need this method as well, right? So this should give you an idea, how is this percentage or a number line method useful to you in many situations. Let's come on to the next part of it and see as to how do we go ahead with such problems. So what is given next here? Compound interest for 2 years at 20% per annum, but compounded half yearly. So 2 years compounded half yearly, which means what? If you have to solve this by formula, what will you do? P into 1 plus R, compounded half yearly. So this R becomes R by 2 into 100 raised to 2 into n. So 2 into n, this becomes what? 2. Right, this is 2 into n, sorry, n is 2, right? N is 2, so it becomes 2 into 2, which is 4. We have studied how does this thing happen, or else you can solve it orally. 20% compounded half yearly, which means 10% after every 6 months. 10% for after 6 months, 10% after 6 months, which means 1 year, 10% in the first part of the second year, and 10% in the next part of the second year. So which means 20% compounded half yearly will be 10%. For 1 year, since it's 2 years, it will be what? 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, which means 10% increase 4 times, right? If you have to solve this, if you have to solve for 2 lakh, it will be easier. Solve by formula. 2 lakh, this is 2,000, 20,000, 2 lakh. Obviously, if you solve it by your magical number line also, this will be very easy, because it is quite easy for me to find out the percentage of this. But in case I just want to solve it by formula, so what will I say? 10, 20 divided by 2, 10 by 100, so this becomes 11 by 10, but 4 times. So 11 by 10 into 11 by 10 into 11 by 10 into 11 by 10. Now what will happen after this? This 4 gets cancelled. What are you left with is this is 121 square. I had told you, and we have studied this in the earlier class and in the maths shortcut class, or squares and cubes. By using base method, I'll see this is close to 100. So write plus 21 plus 21, 121 plus 21, 142, 21 square 441, 41 comes here, 4 goes as a carry, 42 plus 1, 14641, which means this is what, 14641 into 20. That's it. This is all that you are left with right now. Now just multiply, double this. So this becomes what, 2 1s are 2, 2 4s are 8, 2 into 6 is 12, 2 4s are 8, 9, 2 1s are 2. Okay, and add 1 0 to it. So this becomes what now? 2,92,820. Okay, and that will be your answer. That is the total amount of value that will be there after 2 years, compounded half yearly at 20%, and that is your answer to this. Okay, that's how easy it is. Now in case, what are they asking you? Compound interest. So you will say, okay, 2 lakh becomes this. So the compound interest here is what? 92,820. 2,92,820 minus 2 lakh will give you this answer, and that's how easy it is to reach to the answer of this. Now in case you ask me, how will I solve this for this? 3,52,382. Okay, so now let's use a number line. Okay, so what will you say? 20% half yearly, 10% 4 times, right? So first year 10% 11, second year 10% 11, third year 10% 11, fourth year 10% 11. So for 10% increase, I write 411 here, which is nothing but 121 square again. So this is 14641. You always compare this with what? 100. You compare this with 100 and you say that what? This has 100, 10, 10, 10, 10. Ideally it should become 40, but since it's compound, it should be little more than 40. So you'll put a decimal point here. So what do you understand from this? 46.41% is the increase. 46.41% is the increase that you get it here. So just take the value, which is what? 3,52,382. Now, do you know the 10% of it? Yes, you know what is the 10%. So this is 3, 5, 2, 3 and 8, right? 8.2. That is your 10%. Multiply this by 4. So you get what? You get 35 into 4 is what? 30 into 4, 120. Plus 5 into 4, 20. 1,40,000. 1,40,000. So add 1,40,000. If you have to be precise, 952. Even if you ignore this 952, it is okay. Okay, so this is what? 40%. Now what more do you need? 6%. Go for it. Now what is 10%? 3523. That's it, right? 3523. That is 1%. Sorry, 3523. 3523.8. Okay, that is my 1%. Now I multiply this by 6. So I get what? 21,142. And you can solve this orally as well. How will you solve this orally? 3,500 is a 1%. 35 into 4 is 120, which means what? 35 into 4, right? 35 into 4 is what you will get it. Oh, sorry, 35 into 6. So 3 6 are 180 plus 6 5 are 30. 180 plus 30 is 21. 21 is nothing but 21,000. Okay, that's how you are supposed to get it orally. Now just add both of them. So if I add this approximately, let's find it out. I'll give you the exact value as well, but then if I have to just approximate it, so 2382 plus what? 140,952. okay, plus what? 21,142. So if I add them, I'm ignoring this 0.4. okay, now in case you want the 0.4 as well, you know how to get it, right? It will be what more? 1,500 more to this, approximately. Okay, approximately 1,500 more to this. So if I add all of them, this becomes what? Let me add just 1,500 as well. So this becomes 5,15,976. okay, and no need to solve it in this way. How will you solve? 10% is 35 into into 4 is what? 140, which means 1,40,000 more you will add to what? 3,52,000. Then what will you do? 1% is 3,500, so 6% is 35 into 2, which is nothing but 21,000. Okay, now just add, which becomes what? 3,92,000, 4,92,000 plus what? 5,10,000, 12,000. It should be close to 5,12,000, 13,000, and 5,15,000 is the actual answer for this. So that's how you get close to your answer. In case I give you 1,4,30,000, 1,550,000, so you know which is the option, right? And this is how you get it ideally in exam, by options and by solving it by magical number line. You can do this in 30 seconds. Whereas the other student is spending a good 2.5 to 3 minutes in such kind of calculation, because the other student may write it here as 3,52,382, and then just imagine the kind of complication that will be involved in multiplying this by this. Okay, in case the options are very much close by, then you can go by this. Why again to go by this, right? So that's how you use the method depending upon the situation that is given to you in the exam. Okay, I hope this clears your brain as to what kind of problem you use what method. Now I had given you everything. It's up to you how do you use them in the exam. So compound interest, now let's see the next part. Compound interest for 1 year at 40% per annum, compounded quarterly. Compounded quarterly means after every 3 months. So 40% is divided into quarterly, which means what? 4 parts, which means nothing but again this 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. So compounded quarterly 40% is nothing but compound interest for 2 years, 20% compounded half. They both are same. I am just saying the same thing. They will give you the same value. Imagine, okay, compound interest for 1 year, which means 40% is divided into 4 parts. 10% after 3 months, 10%, 10%, 10%. So 10% increase, which is nothing but compound interest for 2 years at 20% per annum, compounded half yearly, right? Because it is also 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. So I'm saying one and the same thing. So the answer for this and the answer for this will exactly be the same. So I'm not solving for this because we had already solved it for you. Now let's see the last part. Compound interest for 18 months at 30% per annum, compounded half yearly. So which means what? Which means our compounded half yearly 30%, 18 months, which means 1.5 years. So 1.5 years, and 1.5 years is divided into 6 months, right? 6 months 10%, then again 6 months 10%, then again 6 months 10%. Because that is how 30% is divided into, right? So it will be what? Compounded half yearly. So it will be 10, 10, and then 10, which means this is nothing but 10% increase. 10% increase, which is nothing but our first problem. Compound interest for 3 years at 10% per annum. So whatever is the answer for this is actually the answer for this as well. So we are not solving this as well because we know the answer for this. So you should just know the variation with respect to such problems. Okay, whether it's an half yearly, whether it's a quarterly, whether it's annually, you just have to see what is increasing after how many months. So what percentage of increase is that? Is that 10% increase thrice? Is that 10% increase 4 times? Is that 20% increase once? Okay, that's how you have to judge the problem. Okay, and eventually you have to see whether you will use a formula method or a magical number line, and that will be told to you by mainly the options and the principal amount that is given to you. Okay, so practice more of such problem, because calculation is as important as understanding the logic, and you need to get the answer faster. Okay, and I had given you all the methods and all the ways by which you can get to the answer as quickly as possible. Now let's go reverse. Okay, till now we were given the principle and we were finding out the final value and checking out what is the actual compound interest that you earn with respect to a given rate of interest and the number of years. Right, now we'll be going reverse. We'll be given the final value and we'll find out the principle. Okay, that's how we go reverse. So what is being told to us now? The compound interest charged on a certain sum for 2 years at 10% per annum, the amount becomes rupees 605. So I go for 10% per annum for 2 years, and then the amount becomes rupees 605. What is the principal amount? Okay, so ideally go by number line or the same your percentage method. If I go by number line, what will you say? 10% for 2 years per annum, it will be 11 into 11, right, which is nothing but 121. So if I compare this with 100 becomes 121. So you can say what now? 21% increase is what you have it here. If you have a 21% increase, okay, what will you say? Whatever was the amount at the start, okay, which means the principal amount, if it was X, it has increased by 21%. So whatever is the amount, you can say this amount plus the 21% of this amount, right? Plus 21% of this amount is nothing but 605, because it is an increased amount. This includes what? This includes principal plus the interest. Okay, I need to take out the interest from this so that I can get only the principal. So I said let the principal be X, interest over the principal that I'm getting more is 21%, which means what? The 121% of this number, which means the number plus 21%, which I can write it here as 121% of X is equals to what? Is equals to 605. Okay, now let's just solve this. This is 1s and 125 is 600. 121 5s. That's it. So I get the answer. X comes out to be what? 500. And that was the principal amount. So if I keep the principal amount as 500, and if I increase this by 21%, 21% is nothing but 20% is 100 and 1% is 5. So this becomes what? 605. You could have solved this easily by option as well. Okay, you can just see, okay, option is 500. If I increase 500 by 21, it will be 605. Correct, the answer will be 500 then. Okay, as simple as that. So ideally use your number line or a percentage method to reach to the answer of this. Okay, let's see few more problems and try to go reverse. So again I get one more problem here, which is asking me to go reverse. So let's see how do we go ahead and find out the reverse of this. Again, the total amount is given to me and the principal is something that is being asked to me. So let's start solving. If the compound interest charged on a certain sum for 3 years at 10% per annum, so you can say 11 into 11 into 11, answer will be 1331, the increase of 33.1. The amount becomes what? 3993, which means what? I'll say number line. So 10% for 3 years, 11 into 11 into 11, which will be nothing but 1331. I'll put a decimal here. Compare this with 100. The increase is of 33.1, which means whatever was my principal, it increased by 33.1, which means 133.1% of this principal and the increase of 33.1% toward this, which means 133.1% of this number is nothing but 3993. 3993 is again what? Principal plus interest. Okay, and this is my what? Principal. There is an increase of 33.1 over this if I compound it for 3 years. Okay, now just solve this. Take this here. So this becomes 1331 upon 1000. Okay, no need to do it so complicated. I am just showing all the steps so that you can visualize it clearly. 3993. What can you say now? 3 1s are, and this is 3s are, right? So if this is the thing, x becomes what then? X becomes what? X is equals to 3000, and that is your answer to this. X is equals to 3000. Okay, so the principal amount here is 3000. Okay, and it has increased by 33.1%. So you can again check it. 30% is 900, 3% is 90, 0.1% is 3. If you add this plus this plus this, it becomes 3993. Correct. You can do this by options as well. Just pick up one option and keep on increasing it. Eventually you will reach to your answer. So that's how you go reverse. Ideally your best method would be the percentage method, and again in percentage method the number line method would be the ideal to solve, because if you get the total increase over 100%, You will say this much increase over the principal. So what is the principal? If I take out just the interest out of it, what will be the principal amount? And that's what will give you your final answer to the question. So know that thing. How do you go reverse? Okay, ideally your magical number line will help you a lot in this case. Now let's solve few more practice problem on reverse going. Okay, we had seen how do we go reverse in the earlier video. Now let's solve few more practice problem. Let's just change the values and see what do we get from this. Okay, this is just a practice of earlier video. So if the compound interest charged on a certain sum for 2 years at 20% compounded half yearly. So earlier we got all the annual, now let's get into half yearly and quarterly. So 20%, 2 years, compounded half yearly. What is the meaning of this? 10% for 6 months, then 10% for 6 months. Since it is for 2 years, it will be 10, 10, 10 and then 10, because 2 years will have 4 6 months interval, right? That's what we understand for this. And the final amount becomes this. So I'll say, okay, magical number line, 10%, 10%, 10% and 10%. I'll write a 111 for each 10% increase. This becomes what? 14641. So where will I put the decimal point here? How do I know that? I'll compare this with 100. So 100, 10, 10, 10, 10, ideally it should be 40, but little more than 40. So 146.41, which means what? I'll write here 146.41% of the principal. Let the principal be X, which means principal and 46.41% of principal added to the principal. That is the meaning of this. Okay, this total amount will be equal to what? 14641. Okay, so what is the principal? So you will say this will be 1, this will be 1. Take this to decimal point 0. So this becomes what? 2 more 0. So x comes out to be what? 1, 200, 1000, 10,000. Okay, 10,000, and if you have to just check it, 10,000, just add 46.41% of that. This becomes what? 14641. And that's how easy it is to go reverse. Okay, so in case they ask you reverse with half yearly or a quarterly as well, just see what is the percent increase total. Okay, how many times is, say, 10% increases, 10% increasing thrice, 10% increasing 4 times, 5% increasing 4 times. Okay, and that's how you just play with quarterly or a half yearly. So if you think if there is a quarterly or a half yearly, I will always use the formula. No. Okay, that can also be solved by the magical number line, which is our percentage increase method. Now let's take one more problem before we wind this thing up. So what is given here? If the compound interest charged on a certain sum for 2 years at 20% per annum, okay, 2 years at 20% per annum, okay, which is quite simple then. Okay, the amount becomes this. What is the principal amount? So you will say 20% and 2 years, which is a plane, so this will be 20% is 12, again 20% is 12. For 2 years I'll write 212, 12 into 12 it will be 144. You always compare this with 100. If you compare this with 100, what is the increase here? 44%, right? So if I say that the principal amount is X, it has increased by 44%. So 144% of the principal amount is nothing but 1152. Now the question that is being asked to me is, what is the principal amount? Okay? That's how easy this thing becomes. So how will you go ahead with this now? Let's just see 144 and 1552. Is this 1152 divided by 144? Is there 8 za? Yes, 8 za. If you just do 1 and this is 8, okay, 4 8 za 32, or you can say 800, 4 8 za 320, 800 plus 320 plus 32, okay, which comes out to be 1152. So x comes out to be what? 800. X is 800, and that's how I reached to the answer. So again this is very, very simple to go ahead and find your answer. Okay, you just have to use the percentage method, find out the eventual percentage increase, then principal, the total that it has increased by. Okay, 100 and over 100, what is the increase? So just take out the interest part from it. What you will be left is with the principal. Now you can try this yourself with many values, with as many values as you can. take it compounded half yearly, take it quarterly. Just play with this, complicate the values, and you will be able to practice better with the reverse problem as well. Okay, so that's it with this part of the compound interest. Okay, now let's see what will be coming next to us. Problem in this section where you have to strictly solve this by only and only formula. Okay, so that's why I had given them a heading as formula based problem, because you're supposed to solve them strictly by using a formula. Okay, so what is given to us now? A sum of money placed at a compound interest doubles itself in 3 years. So a sum of money doubles itself in 3 years. Whenever you get such kind of problem that the sum of money is doubling, becoming so much, becoming 8 times, becoming 7 times in 3 years, 4 years, whatever is given to you, you have to only solve this by formula. And one more hint, where do you use a formula? Whenever you have to find out a compound interest which is say more than 3 to 4 years, which is talking about a compound interest which is 5 years to 6 years of time, always go for a formula, because there is something that will get cut into this. You will get some ratio, so formula will give you some hint with respect to that. So percentage method or a number line method is not at all the ideal method for such kind of problem. Where do you find a percentage or a number line ideal? I had already told you such kind of problem, and these kind of problem where compound interest becomes 7 times, 8 times, or they ask you the compound interest after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, please avoid your percentage or a number line method, because there will be some catch to it. Something will get cut, you'll get some ratio, and the problem will become easier if you use a formula. Okay, so let's see what is given here now. Now sum of money at compound interest double itself in 3 years. Okay, which means if I put P, it will become 2P. 2P in how many years? In 3 years. That's what I understand from this. In how many years will it amount to 8 times of itself? What is the rate of interest? We don't know. But whatever is the rate of interest obviously is here, will be the same rate of interest here. But we are not given what is that. We are being given just how many times it becomes, and eventually we are being asked as the number of years. Okay, so let's see. This is given. What can I find from here? So P becomes 2P. I'll use a formula as I told you. So what is this? The total value 2P. This is what P, the initial principal, into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to what? 3, because this principal in 3 years becomes this. Okay, because we know the formula for compound interest gives you always the total. So principal plus interest, and interest earned here is also what? P. So principal amount P, I invested 1000 and I earned an interest of 1000. Eventually it became 2000. So this 2000 is equal to principal over 3 years with a certain rate of interest. I get it to this. Okay, so cut this now. Cut this thing. What do you get right now here is 1 plus R upon 100, okay, is equals to what? Is equals to 2 raised to 1 by 3. 2 raised to 1 by 3, right? Taking cube roots on both the sides, this is what I get. Now let's see what else can I. This is the best that I can get from this. So let's keep it like this. Let's call this to be equation 1. We'll use this in this part. In how many years will the amount becomes 8 times? So P is equals to 8P. But how many years will be required? So again I'll put this in a formula. So I'll say 8P is equals to what? P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to what? N. I need to find out what is N. Okay, what will happen again here? This P and this P will get cancelled, and I'll get the value as what? This is 8. The 8 is nothing but 2 raised to 3. 2 raised to 3, and what is the value of this? 1 plus R upon 100, 2 raised to 1 by 3. So I'll replace this entire thing by 2 raised to 1 by 3. This whole thing is raised to what? N. This whole thing is raised to N. Okay, let's bring it here. So you can write this as 2 raised to 3 is equals to 2 raised to N by 3. Right, now if you just compare this with the laws of indices, what will you say? 3 is equals to N by 3. So N is equals to 9. N is equals to 9. And that's how simple it is to reach to the solution of this. So what was the purpose of taking this problem? not every time you use a magical number line. Okay, there are times when you use that, and there are times when you only use the formula. And now you know whenever the compound interest is more than 4 years, go for a formula, or where there is a hint where it becomes certain number of times after certain number of years. Okay, so if you get such kind of problem, always and always go by your formula method. Now let's see few more problem where we will just apply the formula. Okay, which will again be the condition in the problem that we can only solve it by formula. So these are again the examples of formula based problem. Now what is given here? Rupees 6728 is divided between Ramesh and Suresh such that Suresh shares at the end of 9 years is equal to Ramesh share at the end of 11 years. So I divide 6728 into two parts. I give some part of it to Ramesh and some part of it to Suresh. Suresh keeps it in a bank for 9 years, and Ramesh again keeps it in a bank for 11 years, compounded annually at 5%. So both the amount that Suresh and Ramesh have both compound annually at 5%. And finally, when they see their amount, Suresh share at the end of 9 years becomes equal to the Ramesh share at the end of 11 years. So can you tell me now who got the larger part of 6728? Who got? Because it will be always be what? Whom? Suresh. Because both of them have invested at 5% compounded annually, but Suresh share at the end of 9 years becomes equal to Ramesh share at the end of 11 years, which means Suresh got the larger part of it, right? If I divide this into two parts, that's what I understand. He's asking then find the share of Suresh. So tell me what was that part. Okay, what exactly did Suresh get from this, and what exactly did Ramesh get from this? So what do we understand from this? So if I say the total amount is 6728, okay, it is divided into two parts. Something that Suresh get and something that Ramesh will get. Such that S plus R total amount is equals to what? 6728. Okay, that is what you understand from this. Suresh plus Ramesh will be this. Suresh share at the end of 9 years, which means if I say the principal is S, which means the amount that the Suresh get is S. This at the end of 9 years, 1 plus R. Our rate of interest is what? 5. So 5 upon 100 raised to what? 9 years. Suresh share at the end of 9 years is equal to what? Is equal to Ramesh share at the end of 11 years. So let's keep an R here. Ramesh share at the end of 11 years. So 1 plus again R is 5 upon 100 what? Raised to 11. Okay, such that Ramesh share at the end of 11 years, whatever is the share, it increases by 5% compounded annually for 11 years, and whatever is the share of Suresh, it increases compounded annually at the rate of 5% for 9 years, such that the total amount after 9 years, this, which is this, and the total amount after 11 years, okay, which is this, they become equal. So let's see what can we get from this. So I'll try and simplify this. So this becomes S into 1 plus 5 divided by 100 is nothing but 0.05, right, of 9 is equals to R into 1 plus 0.05 raised to what? 11. So what do I get from this? If I just write it here, Suresh upon Ramesh is equals to what? If I take this here, yes, 1 plus 0.05 raised to 11 upon 1 plus 0.05 raised to 9. Okay, if I just further simplify this, I can write this as 1 plus 0.05 raised to 2, which is nothing but 11 minus 9, right? Because if this 9 goes up, it will be subtracted. What we have learned, a raised to m upon a raised to n, m upon a raised to n is equals to a raised to m minus n. Okay, that's the rule that we applied here. So what further do we get from this? So if I further solve this becomes what? S upon R is equals to what? This plus this is nothing but 1. I can write it in this way, 1 plus 5 upon 100 plus 5 upon 100 raised to what? 2. Raised to 2. Now this becomes 5 ones are 5, 2s are 10, 2s are 10 and zeros are 0. Right, eventually what do I get from this? So this becomes S upon R is equals to 20 plus 1, this will be 21 upon 20 into 21 upon 20. Right, this is what I get from is 20 plus 1 is 21. So S upon R, what is the ratio that is coming out to be? 21 square is 441 and 20 into 20 will be 400. So this is the ratio. Now what do you understand from this? See, it just looks complicated. If I say rupees 50 is divided, just an example, okay, just to make simplify thing, divided among Suresh and Ramesh in the ratio of 2:3. What will you say? Okay, 50 is divided in the ratio of 2:3. So how much does Ramesh get? How much does Suresh get? So you will say, okay, 2 plus 3 is what? 5. Divide 50 by 5. One part is 10. So 2 part will be 20 and 3 part will be 30. Like this is how easy it will be if you keep it. So what I'm doing is I'm saying 6728 is divided among Suresh and Ramesh in the ratio of 441 is to 400. So what will you say? Okay, if that is the case, 6781 is divided by what? This plus this. As you say, 3 plus 2, 5 will be divided. So I'll say 441 plus 400, which is nothing but 841. So this will be divided by 841. Now what will you get? Just to get the one part here as 10. So get the one part. What will be the one part here? What will you multiply this to reach into this? Now think of it, 6781 and 841. Is there a relationship between them? 841 and into what will give me this? 6728. Sorry, 6728 is this. I wrote it wrong here. 6728. Okay. This looks like quite 8, right? Just multiply it directly by 8. 841 into 8 will be what? 8 8 is 64. 4 is 3. That exactly. It is just multiplied by 8. Right? If you can just check it, 6728. 841 into 8, just do that. 841 into 8, that will be 6728, which means one part here is equals to 8. Okay, one part is equals to 8. As one part was equal to 10, 10 into 2 you said 20, 10 into 3 you said 30. Similarly 8 into 441, 8 into 441 will be what? 8 1s are 8, 8 4s are 32, 8 4s are 32, 33, 34, 35, 3528. It will be what? Suresh share, okay, which is 441. And if you multiply this, 8 into 4, 3200, that will be what? Ramesh share. As we thought it earlier, okay, Suresh share will be larger because his amount after 9 years becomes equal to Ramesh amount after 11 years. So obviously he has a larger amount to this. And what is Suresh share? That will be nothing but 3528, and that is your answer to this question, 3528. So how do I divide this? I divide this into two parts. Suresh 3528 and Ramesh 3200, and I put them, both of them, at 5% compounded annually, such that his amount after 9 years and again 5% for this, and his amount after 11 years, okay, both of them become equal. So that's how you split them up, and eventually you reach to your final answer. So what do you understand from this problem as well? No need, or don't dare to apply magical number line to this. All that you have to do is substitute the formula. Eventually you will get some ratios. That ratio will tell you how to reach to your answer. So again, this was a problem type which should purely be solved only and only by formula method. Two problem which are a mixture of simple interest and compound interest. So initially we started with simple interest. We complicated problems on simple interest. Then we saw compound interest. We complicated problems on compound interest. Now we'll see a problem which is a mixture of both. Okay, and let us understand how do you tackle that. Do you solve it by percentage method, which is nothing but the number line method, or do you go by formula? Okay, let's see it here. The difference between the compound interest and the simple interest on a certain sum at 12% per annum for 2 years is rupees 90. Find the principal. Now as soon as you read the problem, the first thing that comes into your mind is, how do I understand this? What is the meaning of this? So let's make it simple. Okay, so say there is one amount which is X. X could be any amount, which is nothing but your principal. So say 2,000, 3,000, 6,000, any amount, but it's the same amount. You invest in two different bank. One bank is giving you returns in simple interest, and there is another bank which is giving you return in compound interest. What is the rate in both the banks? It is 12% only. So this is 12% simple interest, and this bank is giving you what? 12% compound interest, and that is what is being given here. Okay, at 12% per annum for 2 years, which means you keep it for 2 years. For 2 years in simple interest bank, and for 2 years in a compound interest bank. Okay, this is the time period for which you keep it here. Is rupees 90. So what is the principal? What is the meaning of this? C? What was my principal? X. Okay, this is what 100%. Let's solve it by percentage method. Okay, let's solve it by percentage method. It will be lot more easier. So initially it was 100%. Then what happened? It increased by 12%. So it will become what? 112 in simple interest, and it will become what? 100 becomes what? 112 in compound interest as well. Both remain same in the first year. What will happen in the next year? This will be plus 12. So plus 12, this becomes 124, because it's simple interest. Every year the same amount will be added. So this how it will go. What will happen in this year? 12% of this, or you can just do as I had said it to earlier, 112 square, which is nothing but plus 12 plus 12. So this becomes what? 124. 12 square is 144. So just add 1 to this becomes 12544, which means what? This is 125.44. Okay, that is what it is. So what do you understand from this? Whatever is the amount that is being invested, it has increased by what? It has increased by 25.44%, right? Whatever is the principal, that has increased by 25.44%. And what do you understand from this? Whatever is the principal, it has increased by 24%. It has increased by 24%. Okay, that's what I understand from it. So X was here and X was here as well. Here the X was increased by 25%. Okay, sorry, 24%. X was increased by 24%, and here the X is increased by 25.44%. Okay, now what do I do? So whatever is the amount that I get it from here, 24% increase of X and 25.44% increase of X, I take this two amount. I don't know what is the amount. Okay, I just know the percentage increase here. I take this amount and I subtract this two amount. And the subtraction, the difference between the compound interest and the simple interest on a certain sum of X at 12% for 2 years is rupees 90, and the difference is rupees 90. So now I am being asked, what is the value X? So what do you understand? You already know the percentage difference between the two, right? Which is what? 1.44%. How do you know that? This is 24%, this 25.44%. So difference between them is what? 1.44%. And 1.44% of what? X. Because this is also X and this is also X. Correct. So this means what? 1.44% of X, that is their difference, which is in terms of value is nothing but rupees 90. So what will you write it here? 1.44%, okay, of X, which was the principal. The difference between them is nothing but rupees 90. And then you just find it out what is the value of X, and that will eventually be your answer, and you know the principal here. Okay, now it's just about basic calculation. So let's put it here. I'll write this as 90, then I'll make this as into 1 2 3 4. I'm taking the 2 zeros down, and 144 I'll take it here as bottom, but I'll write it as 12 into 12. Okay, now let's see how do you go ahead to solve this. So if you just solve this, quite simple it is. So if you do 90, okay, divided by the given thing, so you will get the answer as this is what it will be, 1.44%. let's do it. So the answer will come out to be 6250 will be your answer. Okay, so let me just check into the 6250. So the answer comes out to be which is 96250. Let me just check it. Yes, will it be? Let's just solve this as well. Okay, let's not complicate it. So this will be 90. How will I go ahead and solve this? This will be, what will it go by? Say 245 are 2 6 are 12, and 3 2s are 6, 3 15, so 45. Then what am I left with? This is 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15. What else can I solve? This can go 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8. Then this is what? 2s are 8, so this is 20, 4 5s are 20, 0 0. 2500 is what I'm left with here. Now next, what I can cut this as well. I can cut this. 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2, then 2 2s are 4, 2 5, 1 2 5 0, 1 2 5 0 into 5. Do it 1 2 5 0 into 5, that is equal to 6 2 5 0. Correct, I was correct earlier as well. So this comes out to be x comes out to be 6 6 2 5 0. Okay, and which means what? This x was increased by 24%, and it was here, and the x was increased by 25.44%, such that 1.44%. okay, if you have to just check this, see, 1.44% means what? 1.44% of 6250. If you just check it, it will come out to be 90. okay, because obviously it has to, because that is what we got it here. So this 6250 increased to 24%, then it increased to 25.44%, and whatever was the value, we subtracted that and we got the answer as 90. So the difference of percentage point is known to us, because percentage method gave us this, and the value is known to us, so we can know the total value, right? We can always know the total value, basics of percentage here. Okay, and that's how you solve the difference of percentage. But no need to solve like this in an exam, looks very complicated. Yes, there is a formula. Okay, there is a formula which says that difference between SI, simple interest, and compound interest after 2 years. Okay, difference between the simple interest and the compound interest after 2 years is given by this formula, which is nothing but P into R upon 100 the whole square, and this is nothing but equal to always the difference. Just know this formula. Okay, this looks very complicated, right? So just know this formula and then just substitute in the formula. So what will you do it here? P means what? P is nothing but your principal, you're supposed to find out, so let's keep it as P. R, the rate of interest, what is given here as 12, so write it here as 12 because it is given here as 12, upon 100 raised to what? 2 is equals to the difference in the amount, which is given to me as 90. So let's write it here as 90. So what do you get it here now? Finally I get it here as P is equals to 90 into this same thing. This is equal to 1 2 3 4. Look at 110 square becomes 10,000 divided by 144, divided, because this will come here and this will go here, right? Cross multiply. This is, if you check it, this is nothing but the same thing. Okay, and I know how, if I solve this, I'll get the principal P as what again? 6250. So that's how you always solve it easily by formula. But this is good for your understanding, this is good for your visualization as to why do we keep it in this way. Okay, so percentage method helps you to visualize a thing, but ideally if you get a formula which is of difference of simple interest and compound interest, use the formula, substitute the value, reach to your answer. Now let us see a problem which is on difference of simple interest and compound interest, but now after 3 years. Okay, so earlier we saw difference after 2 years, now we'll see a difference after 3 years. So let's go ahead and solve this. The difference between the simple interest, compound interest, and the simple interest on a certain sum at 20% per annum for 3 years is, it's not written here, so let's write this amount. This is equals to 1280, so that is equal to rupees 1280. That is something that is given to me in the problem. Okay, and what is the question that is being asked? Find the principal. So principal is something that is being asked to me here. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this problem as to how and what should be our approach to this. So 20%, so let's say you invested X, which is a principal, in 2 banks. One bank is going at in simple interest, one bank is going at in compound interest. First I'll tell you how to solve it by percentage method, then we'll go on to see the formula for it as we did it in the 2 years case. So how will I go ahead with this? 20%, yes, correct. 20% for how many years? 3 years. So its simple interest, what will it become? 100 will become 120, 120 will become 140, 140 will become 160, which means it will keep on increasing by 20 every year. That is what we call it as a simple interest. What will happen in the compound interest? If you go ahead with this will be 100, 100 will become what? 120. Then it will be a 20% increase over this. Okay, 20% increase over this. 10% is 12, 20% will be 24. So this becomes what? This becomes 144. So this comes out to be here. Okay, then again and 20% increase over this. Okay, so what is 20% of this? 10% is 14.4, so 28.8. This becomes what? 172.8. 172.8. Which means what? There is an increase of 60% over simple interest, and then there is an increase of what? 72.8% over in the compound interest. And if you just take the difference of that, just take the difference, 60 and 72.8, 72.8 and 60, the difference is 12.8. Correct? The difference here is 12.8, which means the x increased to 60 and x increased to 72.8, and if I take the difference, I come out to be 12.8% of x. That will be the two amount, right? Whatever is the amount that I get it, just do it in this way. I invest one amount by simple interest in one bank, I invest one amount by compound interest in the another bank. After 3 years at 20%, I take both the amount and I subtract both the amounts. So difference is what? 12.8% of x. What is x? We don't know. That is what we are supposed to find out. But what is this equal to? This is equals to 1280. This is equal to. That is given in terms of value. So what is x? So this is quite easy. That's how we had taken the value as well. X into 12.8% of x, which is nothing but 1280. So if we just cut this is 1, and this will be what? Into 100. Okay, so x comes out to be what? X comes out to be 10,000, and that is your answer to this. Your principal here is nothing but 10,000. Okay, so that's how you always go ahead. So earlier we took it till 2 years and we took a difference of that. Now we take it till 3 years. Then we see what is the percentage point difference. Even if they ask it for 4 years, you can obviously now solve it by percentage method. Okay, now how do you solve this by formula? So there is a definite formula for difference of simple interest and compound interest after 3 years, and that is given as, first you write it here as 3 into, then you write it here the formula for 2 years difference, which is P into R upon 100 raised to 2. So 3 into that formula for difference of 2 years plus, it's a little complicated, P into R upon 100 raised to 3. Okay, this entire is a formula. Now how do you simplify this? Take out this P into R upon 100 raised to 2 as a common thing outside. Take out this thing. So what will be remaining here is 3 plus what? R upon 100, right? This is what would be remaining. I'm just trying to simplify the formula, so no need to use this. Just go for this because it will be easier to get the answer from this. So I write it here as P into R. Okay, let's just substitute this now. This will become this. If you want to further simplify this, you can write this as 300 plus R upon what? 100. This whole thing into P into R upon 100 the whole square. Correct? This is how you will get it. Now just substitute the value for R. Okay, what is R given here as 20? So you will write it here as P into 20 upon 100 will be what? 1 by 5. So into 1 by 5 into 1 by 5. So that becomes 1 by 5 the whole square. Okay, this part. Then you commit here 300 plus R20. This becomes 320. 320 upon what? Upon 100. The whole thing. This always is equals to what? This is equal to difference, right? There's a formula for difference. So this is equal to difference. What is the difference given here as? 1280. So write it here. Write it here as difference. Now just go ahead and solve this. It's because this is what now? 1za. This is 1za and this is 4. Right? 3 and 320 into 4 will be this. Now this becomes what? this becomes 2500. So this is P upon 2500, okay, is equals to what? 4. So P comes out to be what? 10,000. Okay, and that is the same answer which we got it here. The principal is 10,000. So you can choose what you like, and this is the version of formula that you're supposed to use, okay, because it will be easier. Don't use this. Eventually you are making this to come to this. So why to write it in this way? This is good to remember it, but ideally put it in this way so that it will be easier for you to reach out to your value. So for both the difference of simple interest and compound interest, for 2 years as well as 3 years, we have a formula. Okay, in case they go beyond this, 4 years, 5 years, you know how to solve it. Right? Just get the percentage difference. And I think this is quite easier as well, because 20%, like you can remember, I know it is 172.8, and 20 it will be 60, so difference will be 12.8. You can solve this orally. 12.8 is 1280, so it will be what? 10,000. So once you know things, it will be quite easier for you to reach out to the answer. But in case you want to use a formula, the values are complicated, formula looks out to be the ideal method, so go for the formula. But you know both the method, 2 years and 3 years, by percentage method and then by the formula method. Now let us see few more problems on the difference of simple interest and compound interest, but this problem gives both. So first video we solved the problems of difference of SICI for 2 years. Then we went on for difference of SICI for 3 years. Now it is given to us as the ratio of the difference of SICI for after 2 years on a certain sum of money, and that too after 3 years. So the ratio of the difference of SICI after 2 years and after 3 years on a same sum at the same rate of interest is given to me as 11/37. Find out the rate of interest. Okay, so purely solve only and only by formula. Okay, because that is the best way to go ahead and solve and reach to the answer of this. So I'll write this is 11/37, difference of 2 years. So difference of 2 years, how do you write? P R upon 100 the whole square. That is a formula for difference of 2 years. If I have to write difference of 3 years, I'll just take out P R upon 100 as a common thing out, right? We know that. What it will be remaining in the bracket is 3 plus R upon 100, because this was cube, right? And this is what will be left. And this whole thing is equals to what? 11/37. That is something that is given to me. What happens here? This entire thing cancels out. Okay, so now the problem becomes simpler. Now this, what do you get? This 100 will come at the top. This becomes 3 plus 100. This becomes 300 plus R. And what was the 100 there at the bottom? It went on to the top. This whole thing is equals to 11/37. Okay, now if you just multiply this turns out to be what? 3700 is equals to 3300 plus 11 into R. Okay, so 11 into R will be equal to what? 400. So R will be equal to what? 400 upon 11. Okay, but you need to find out percentage. If I give you anything, if you have to find out percentage of that, divide that by 100, right? For you to get the percentage, because this is in terms of abstract values. So to get the percentage, divided by 100, this 3 gets cancelled, 0 0, so you get something which is 4/11. So R is equals to 4/11. What is 1/11? 9.09. 9.09 into 4 will be what? 36.36. Okay, which is, yes, that should be your answer, 36.36%. And that is your simple answer to this question. Okay, so what do you understand from this? Just use the formula, because now the ratio of the difference of the SICI after 2 years and then after 3 years is something that is given to you. So I use plainly the formula and I get to the value of R. Okay, but this value of R is like something which is without the percentage that I get as an absolute value. So say I get an absolute value here. So if I divide it by 100, obviously I'll reach to the percentage value, because percentage is always about dividing it by 100. Okay, so that's how I get it. The answer is 36.36% is my answer to this. Okay, so just use the formula and reach to your answer.